dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Lacey Roberts, and thank you for joining me on Mountain News This Morning. Today is Wednesday, July 15th. Having some technical issues this morning, but it's Wednesday, it's hump day. What can you expect? Well, we know what we can't expect is for it to be hot. Isn't that right? Let's bring in Brandon Robinson to tell us just how hot it's going to be, which I know you're not happy about, Brandon.
No, I'm not excited about this forecast at all, Lacey, but we could break some records today, so the weather nerd in me is always curious to see if we can push that today. We'll see how it goes, but this morning, not too bad. We start with Whitesburg Pine Mountain. Let's head up on the mountain this morning, and you see things have been fairly quiet overnight. Not a whole lot of fog this morning in the valleys or on the ridges, but there is some out there. Temperatures 70 at the Julian Carroll Airport and the National Weather Service office at Jackson this morning, 60 in Monticello, 62 Harlan and Middlesboro, 63 in Hazard, 65 in Pikeville, 62 Irvin, and 66 in Logan this morning. Your out-the-door forecast features temperatures that soar into the mid-90s this afternoon. It's not on this graphic, but 94 is the official forecast high. It happens between 2 and 5 o'clock this afternoon there, and even by 7 o'clock, still going to be in the upper 80s, so it's going to be a hot one for sure. Rest of the forecast on the way here in just a few minutes. Lacey.
Thank you, Brandon. And with the large number of people seeking unemployment across the Commonwealth, the Kentucky Career Center has opened up temporary locations to offer free in-person guidance. Big Sandy Community and Technical College's Prestonsburg campus is being used for in-person help to assist people with unemployment questions and concerns. One man, Devin Miller, drove an hour and a half to get help with his unemployment insurance claim. He says it was his best shot at getting a response.
I can't get nobody on the phone, okay? I get messages from the unemployment office saying, hey, we know you called, we'll call you back. You know, that's what I get. It's ridiculous. It shouldn't be this hard, man. It should not be this hard.
Denied unemployment, but he was glad to hear from a real person yesterday, and he hopes the things that they discussed will be enough to move him forward as he waits for answers. And today is the deadline to file your state income taxes. Governor Beshear extended the deadline from April 15th to July 15th because of COVID-19. It's also the deadline to make tax payments that were due back in April. Kentucky law prohibits interest waivers, so interest will still apply on those payments. An fence will be built around the governor's mansion in Frankfort. It comes after protests in May where armed protesters crossed over barriers to stand on the front porch of the mansion. That same day, protesters hanged the governor in effigy. The fencing was requested by Kentucky State Police Executive Security for the safety of the First Family and future First Families at the mansion. And a congressman from Virginia tested positive for COVID-19. This is Congressman Morgan Griffith. He tested positive for the virus yesterday, and he said he was tested after developing symptoms. Following the positive test, he is self-isolating. Griffith represents the Virginia's 9th Congressional District, which includes Wise, Lee, Dickinson, and Buchanan counties. He says he will continue to perform his duties while self-isolating. And in Clay County, there are now 31 active cases, 6 probable cases, and 3 hospitalizations. And now some of these cases have affected first responders. 2 deputies with the Clay County Sheriff's Office, 1 officer with the Manchester Police Department, and 1 911 dispatcher in the county tested positive for COVID-19. Sheriff Patrick Robinson says that his deputies showed no symptoms, and now some changes are being made.
We are limited to our 1 person per vehicle. When we're on calls, anytime we're out in the public, we are to wear a mask.
Health officials say that they are working with law enforcement to do continual symptomatic testing. Since these cases were caught early, they feel the spread is contained and will not go beyond those already in quarantine. And we brought you a story last week about some student athletes at Hazard High School testing positive for COVID-19. Since then, even more have tested positive. WYMT's Madison Pergram has the latest.
On Friday, we reported a total of 9 cases of COVID-19 in relation to Hazard High School athletics.
Regardless how good your plans are, the human factor is at play.
On Tuesday, that number increased to 10 student athletes, 2 members of the coaching staff, and an additional 10 cases related through contact tracing.
Any type of situation where we have a mass gathering of individuals, there is a potential for the spread of COVID-19.
Scott Walker with the Kentucky River District Health Department says they are learning more all the time.
This virus is a new virus, so we don't know everything about it. So sometimes the plans we may have laid out that we should be a little more conservative in our planning process.
Saying we could learn more from this experience.
In other counties, this again is a wake-up call for us that we need to be very, very diligent in adherence to our plan.
Walker emphasizing how important wearing a mask is to prevent further spread.
Even in situations where we think, well, we've got 6 feet social distancing, maybe we don't need the mask. A mask could have potentially helped to prevent the spread of this.
All practices at the school are suspended until further notice. In Hazard, Madison Pergram, WYMT Mountain News.
And officials with the school district say they are in constant communication with the health department to enhance procedures for preventing the spread. They also say that they will continue to disinfect and sanitize all surfaces. And in Leslie County, the Osborne Brothers Hometown Bluegrass Festival is going virtual. While official details are still being ironed out, the change is bringing about hope. Since it started in 1994, the festival is a fundraiser for local fire departments. By doing it virtually, firefighters are looking forward to the possibility of getting more help.
We're going to set up a thing through Hyden Citizens Bank where people can call in and donate to the fire department. So I'm excited about the possibility of what this could turn out to be. I hope I'm not disappointed.
Like in that sort of sense.
The departments average about $5,000 each year from the festival, and that's per department. And the White House invited a Kentucky man who nearly took his life 30 times because of addiction to come to Washington. Kenneth Beerborn, an Addictive Recovery Care, or ARC liaison, discussed overdose and his life with President Donald Trump. Now he is leading a new life and helping others find a path to recovery.
I work for Addiction Recovery Care as a community liaison, helping other alcoholics and addicts get into recovery and providing support for them. I'm living my purpose and my passion.
ARC operates networks of more than 30 addictive retreatment centers in 16 Kentucky counties. Despite making long strides in decreasing overdose rates, Kentucky and neighboring states all report increases since the pandemic started.
Helpers and Heroes, sponsored by Wolf Williams and Reynolds, serving Eastern Kentucky for Social Security Disability and Federal Black Lung.
Well, we continue our series this morning highlighting an entire family of helpers and heroes this morning. And let's take those in this morning. And these pictures in the series were taken and sent in by Lori Johnson. I don't know if she took them or not, but she sent them in there. Let's get into our first picture this morning. This is her nephew, Nathan Calhoun. Nathan is a nurse working in the intensive care unit at Hazard ARH. It takes a special person to work in the ICU, and I can't imagine what they're having to witness day in and day out treating those sickest patients. So thank you, Nathan, for your service to our region. Our next picture is another nephew of hers, Logan Calhoun. Logan is a nurse at USP Big Sandy. That's the prison near Inez in Martin County. He works in a high-risk environment normally, but we've all heard about the outbreaks in our prisons during this pandemic. Thankfully, we've not heard anything about Big Sandy, but I'm sure they're all working over there to take every precaution to keep it from happening there. We definitely appreciate you, Logan. And our final picture today is Lori's niece, Lakin Calhoun, and she is a sonographer at MCHC's clinic in Harlan. If you don't know what a sonographer is, it's a person who uses the ultrasound machine to take pictures of something going on in your body, like masses or pregnancies. Thank you, Lakin, for going above and beyond during this pandemic and always. And of course, we're doing these profiles through the end of the month. I think we'll have a couple more pictures from Lori's family, and then we have more folks that are going to be profiled in the next week or so, but you can still submit those to us at WYMT.com. Just search out Helpers and Heroes or send them to me on my Facebook page, Brandon Robinson, WYMT. Lacey.
Thank you, Brandon, and thank you for joining us. We'll be right back with more Mountain News this morning.